Today we're reacting to the art of not thinking. I believe this video is about not allowing overthinking to stop you from getting to where you want to get to, and that's really important. Sometimes you gotta just do some of these things without thinking. Too much thought about it could mess around and play you out your position, you know what I'm saying? I want to say thank y'all so much for the happy birthdays and the get well soons. I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm sorry for missing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to miss yesterday, but it is what it is. Let's do it.
Anybody that's shooting for something extremely high, you have to start with a
little irrational.
A little irrational, because if you were to let logic or rationality, you wouldn't make it, because
too many
everything
obstacles.
Definitely. And you know it will be a Dior fucking video if I ain't fucking start the shit before. You know what I'm saying? Now, I remember when I was in college, right? And I realized, like, oh damn, oh yeah, I ain't doing this college shit. I was on my computer making beats. I would go to class on some dumb shit. I would go to class but just be on the computer making beats and stuff. Mind y'all, like I think I told y'all, if you're new, I got to where I'm at now because I was producing at first. I was making beats, right? And it got me to this point, right? So boom, I was doing that, you feel me? And just kind of just jumping off of the porch with shit, just doing shit, like wasn't going to class, and I just then was going to class and just stopped. Then was just wasting my time, like wasting time with the whole school thing, acting like I was gonna do my classes and shit. Whole time knowing what I was really gonna do. Like that wasn't really too much thought about it. I knew what I wanted to do, but I was like, damn. And then my girl convinced me, like, okay, you should probably just drop out. And I was like, damn, you think so? She's like, yeah. So then I did. And then now look, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
but calculated. This shit got to be calculated. We'll talk more about that after the video.
The odds,
you can't do that.
The odds aren't in your favor. It's a strength. I still have the same delusion from when I was 6 and 12.
That's it. How did it feel to you? Let me think. Don't think.
Damn.
Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
Don't count yourself out. You gonna have people ignore, like, think trying to like take away from your blessings. Don't count yourself out. Look.
Dad's broke, bro, with no money, no power, no food at the crib, food stamps. Mama she don't got no car. She don't know where the fuck the next meal coming from. Lamborghini, but them niggas used to be bums, bro. Like, nigga, them niggas used to be bums, nigga. I used to be a fucking bum, bro.
As humans, one of the exclusive skills that we have that no other creature on this earth has is the ability to analyze and think about situations over an extended period of time. But see, if your gift is not used in the right way, then it will eventually turn into a curse. Overthinking is something we do in society due to various reasons. Like, you know, Instagram baddies saying they want a man that's 6'6", 6 feet tall, 6 inches, and makes over 6 figures a year. Men saying they want a big booty Latina who is basically just a sex robot who cooks, clean, and sucks dick. To be successful in life is to be happy, to be fulfilled, to experience love. We get so used to having to think about stuff to make things happen, or so we think we thought it into existence. And to be fair, sometimes it is that thinking that allows us to advance in this life. But I found more times than not, it is not even close to that. That is what gets us this far. It is not our own thoughts and ideas that we are communicating through various art forms and words, but we are merely just the mediums for these ideas to speak through that want to be heard. So often, what gets in your way to take that final step to walk through the door to get what you want after waiting your turn is quite literally the same thing that got us this far. Thinking. Your gift can be just as easily your curse. I know this sounds backwards right now, but let me explain the art of not thinking. On August 29th, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, a star was born, a Virgo, an angel some would call. This kid at the age of 5 could already dance better than most grown men, had a stage presence at 5 that most artists today aspire to get one day. And if none of this by itself impressed you, well, just wait till the kid actually opened his mouth to sing. There's the ongoing joke of Michael's dad, Joseph, with a belt in one hand and a guitar in the other, saying, you know what I'm saying, you better get these moves right, and if you don't, I'm gonna whoop your ass. But regardless, Michael genuinely had a love for music, dancing, and expressing himself through these art forms. You could hear it in his melodies. The pain that was caused for the advancement of his music from his childhood was also his therapy. His curse was also his gift. But you don't get to that level of Michael Jackson talent-wise, success-wise, with just pure thinking or even practice. And I want to make it clear for all of you reactors probably watching this right now with y'all Lego my ego head ass who finna sit here and say, well, you gotta work, bro, don't neglect the execution. The work will naturally be there when
Hold on. Hold on. Did I piss this nigga off in the video one day? Or did I say some shit? What was I saying? The nigga said Lego ego. Hold on. The nigga woofing at me?
when the love is there, which Michael had. But more important, the work will naturally be there when the love is there, which Michael had. But more importantly, Michael didn't think about his art. He let it naturally come to him. Most of Michael Jackson's biggest well-known songs were spurts of inspiration.
How do you write a song?
How do I write a song? Well, if I sat here and played some chords, whatever, and say, I'm going to write the best song I've ever written, nothing happens. Something in the heavens has to say, look, this is the time that this is going to be laid on you, and this is when I want you to have it. Now,
I feel like definitely too with music for sure, in the process of making it. Now this is where like I feel like the disconnect for me is, in the process of making the music, can't too much thinking be had. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of doing, you flowing, you going with what you feel. It's a lot of feeling. Trust me, again, like I just told you at the beginning of this. There's a lot of feeling that's going in. But I feel like the thinking comes whenever it's like what it is. Like, you know how many talented motherfuckers there is out there that can sing, that can do this, that can do that, but they ain't got shit going on? It's because it's also the thought process that needs to go into, let's say, just the marketing or the networking or the this is that and the third. Like this, these things are needed in order to get to where you want to be. You feel me? Like, however, Mike was on the stage because, you know, he was placed there and people were, you know what I'm saying, he was at such a young age, so he didn't really have to do too much. But let's say an average Joe nigga on the street, like, he's got to do some work. You feel me? He's got to do some thinking as to how he's gonna get there. So I just don't want the lines to get blurred. Like, I don't want motherfuckers to think, oh, you can get on here and be and just be like, yeah, I'm flowing and I'm doing my damn thing and da. Like, it's still like when I be doing these videos, I still gotta put thought, like I gotta do some real thinking on these titles and thumbnails and, you know what I'm saying, certain things like that. But, you know what I'm saying, if I was doing too much thinking in regards to like, oh, damn, what's my channel gonna be about? Oh, how am I gonna start? Okay, I'm gonna start on this day. Okay, now if I'm doing too much thinking like that, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm playing myself out of my position. You feel me?
I remember when I wrote Billie Jean, I was riding in my car down Ventura Boulevard. All I said to myself beforehand, I want to write a song with a great bass hook, you know, and I just let it go, really. And then several days later, you know, you know, the whole
Where did that come from?
From above. See, the thing is, artists seem to get in the way of the music. Get out of the way of the music. You know, don't write the music. Let the music write itself.
The dance as well?
Yeah, same.
When you don't think, you enter a state of openness, a flow state, some call it, to receive the right messages at the right time. If your phone's on do not disturb because you're so busy up there, well, then you can miss the call that'll change your life. The same goes for the ideas and thoughts that you need to receive at the right time to accomplish the dream and goal that you've been working for and waiting for so long. But we often get tricked into thinking that we need to think harder, we need to grind harder, we need to force this work. And that could be the case for some, but if this video found you, I don't think that's so. When you watch Michael Jackson dance, sing, and talk, everything is put together and on point, but it's also very smooth and open and up for interpretation. Effortless, you could even say. You never hear Michael trying to sing good, you know what I mean? He's being an instrument for the creative energy to work through him to convey a message to people. And look at how many hearts he impacted, how many lives he saved and changed. But if he tried to think about any of these things, just as he said, they never would have came. You can't rationalize love. You can't rationalize rationalize abundance. It's like trying to rationalize why the earth makes trees create oxygen for us to live. Why is there so many trees for so many animals? There's no logical reason except love. When my mom was first teaching me and my sister how to swim, one of the first things she taught us was how to float. And what determined if you were gonna sink or if you were going to float is how still you could be, how much you could turn off your brain and not think, how much could you let go and have trust in the water to carry you. And anybody who has ever floated in water knows once you let go and stop thinking about it, you're completely fine, and that's when you start to float.
I still can't float. And it's probably because of that. I'm probably thinking way too much. I know it is, but I still don't know how to float.
When you stop, think, and try to rationalize how this water is carrying you, your fear of the water, that is when you sink. Nature really is one of the greatest teachers.
One of the most important things to being successful is listening. It's listening and watching.
Another reason a lot of people let thinking get in their way is due to the rationalization and being comfortable in the rationalization of oneself. The natural limitations that you put on yourself. You don't even know how far you're gonna go in this life. And more times than not, the only thing that limits you are the only limitations you put on yourself. I say all the time, I feel like if we stopped telling kids that they couldn't fly, eventually kids would start flying. Your mind, the same as the universe, isn't some machine that goes, this is right, this is wrong.
This is what I was saying too in one of my previous videos. Like, my mom did a great job at, like, if I said I wanted to be a dinosaur doing a backflip every single day for $1 million a day, and then I was also gonna be an astronaut at the same time, she was gonna be like, yep, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that. It's like she was really tuning my brain to make me really feel like I could do anything. I can do anything. Oh, Mom, I'm gonna go to the NBA. Yep, we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
But it is rather a well that
takes
in what it is told,
extra rationalizing and all that,
and puts it back out with that exact same force. One person that has mastered not thinking and rationalizing and putting limits on their self is one of the biggest streamers in the world, Kai Cenat.
Kai, where's your YouTube channel? I got one thing to say. Welcome to my YouTube channel!
One thing about Kai that has always stuck out to me about him was the spontaneity of his art. Even really down to the way he came up. Kai would make Instagram skits and YouTube videos mainly in high school, which gained a little bit of traction since, you know, everybody in New York knows everybody. But he realized in his senior year that he needed to take this content creation thing serious. So he made a vow to himself that he would post on YouTube every other day and post a skit every day on Instagram. And he did exactly that. If you go to Kai Cenat's Facebook page, you can literally see him posting a skit and YouTube video almost every single day for a year straight. Some did good, some did bad, some were cringy, some were funny. And he built a decent platform from doing these skits, ding dong ditch videos blowing up on his channel, and he recently started linking up with his soon-to-be household name group AMP. But he still wasn't one of the biggest streamers in the world. He was just a successful content creator at this point. Until that one day.
From 1 to 10, like from 1 to 10.
Okay, first of all, it don't matter. I'm a girl. I'm gonna say all girls are cute. Like, that's not even like accurate.
Oh
my.
Yep.
Sorry, oh, just sorry, you dirty. I must say, shout out to Maury Van Rap. See that, you dirty mother. Why you got rap living in your crib? What? What's up? Why is there raps in your crib, Kyle? Talk to me. Talk to me.
I don't know, man.
So in 1 year, you became
After this clip went viral, Kai Cenat officially became one of the most iconic streamers the industry has seen and started his climb to the top.
I didn't know that was the reason for a nigga's success. I didn't know. Some things, bro, so if that's really the reason, and this is really where I kind of like I feel like it's a mixture of thinking, not thinking, but I really feel like a lot of it at the end of the day, and you know what I'm saying, I don't know what your belief system is, but for me personally, I think a lot of it is just God, bro. Like, there's so many things that are just so, like, there's things that happen to me that it was just got a rat running by Kai Cenat is what turned him up. If that's true, I don't know. If, from what he's saying, if that's really what happened, that's crazy. A rat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, the way I got in contact with an artist, I remember there's just one artist that I've done a lot of songs for. The way I got in contact with him, he DM'd me one day, right? He DM'd me one day. It was like, we need to do a tape. I was like, oh, I was lit. I was like, oh my God, I was lit as fuck, just random DM. Come to find out, later on when I met him, he thought that he thought my Instagram was another nigga's Instagram, was another Dior's Instagram. But since I was sending him so much shit, he was fucking with it. When he finally found out, he was like, "Oh, I'll just fuck with this nigga." He just fucked with me, and I realized, oh shit, because I found the Dior he was talking about. He did a lot of R&B beats and shit. He was looking for an R&B vibe, but I was just sending him so much shit, and he fucked with it. Like at that point, we just turned up together, and it was it. Like I could not have done that. Was not me, but I was prepared and ready though. You see what I'm saying? I was working, like putting that work in, and I knew what the fuck I was doing. So when that opportunity came and I started sending, it was over with. You know what I'm saying?
And well, y'all know the rest of that story. But the same as Michael Jackson, notice how the thing that sent him over the top into his stardom, his most iconic clips are of him not thinking. They are very spontaneous and they kind of just happen to him.
You good? You good? Bae, you good? Shit.
What's up? It's on the phone. Nick, listen. Talk about
the blood clot is. Oh, you mean with the blood clot? You see what me I do? She didn't put the phone with a real general. No, put them up on the phone now. Put them on the bomber clot.
He was just floating, being himself. By not forcing the viral moment, the universe naturally brings them. You ever tried to be funny around a group of people and it's just awkward because it's not funny?
That shit fall on dead ears.
In your element, you just talking your shit, you just joking, and the jokes just flow so well. When you chase the dog of ideas, it's in its nature to naturally run away. The grandest, most iconic moments, songs, and content is not well thought out or completely planned out most of the times in the beginning. More times than not, it is rather stumbled upon. The same way your best friend or partner, you end up meeting them one day because you happen to be late to class, or you sat in the wrong seat, or you randomly go into a store one day. Divine timing, some call it. The other big reason you must not think, and one of the most important, is due to the dichotomy of your self-image. As I said before, the limitations you have are the ones you put and think about yourself. Your perception of what you believe about yourself in your own life is what the world and people will reflect onto you. One thing I want y'all to realize is the most famous rich person y'all look up to and you wish you had their life, understand that they were once just like you. The spotlight, the money, the validation is a reflection of something that changed on the inside, not the outside. And once you apply that basic principle, you will realize there is nothing you can't have, because you don't even think that there is anything you can't have. You naturally feel like you can have anything. A perfect example of this is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Now, yes, we have all heard about the infamous story of Michael Jordan getting cut in 10th grade from his varsity team and getting sent down to JV. He was 5'10" at the time, and coaches didn't see too much of a promising future of him besides him just being a key role player. And with his parents being 5'10" and 5'5", it didn't seem like he had much growing to do either. But Michael Jordan thought different of himself. He didn't care about the limitations that the coaches put on him for just being a short role player, but also he didn't care about the same limitations that his parents' genetics put on him height-wise. Call me crazy, but I believe Michael Jordan was so delusional that he willed the body, height included, that he needed to accomplish his dreams. Because when you try to think about it logically and rationalize it, when you try to look at yourself and go, that's not possible. Because when you try to think about it logically and rationalize it, he wasn't supposed to be nowhere near his height. None of his brothers even touched 5'9". When you think about it.
Damn, for real? Damn. That's crazy.
It wasn't supposed to happen that way. All of the signs were saying this ain't for you. If he thought about it, he would have logically told himself that rationally this was not possible.
For sure, and I know some niggas like that when I was young that would come up. Like I knew a white boy when I was young that like he was mentally like older than all of us. Like he just mentally was, and he definitely was like on some logically type of shit. And I remember he would be like, he was hoeing himself because he would always kind of Mike. He used to have this problem with his Achilles, right? Not funny enough. But every time he got a chance, my Achilles. Every time we be doing anything, we'd be like, damn, bro, my Achilles. And then we'll be doing our thing and be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go play for this school when I get to college. And be like, well, you like, bro, you gotta understand, he's like 6'. All right, man, look, bro, I'll smack your bitch ass, boy. My mama told me I could do anything, fuck nigga. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know what he's doing now, but that nigga, I'm sure he's still somewhere thinking logically.
Possible. And a lot of people in that same position, no matter what it is in life, I'm gonna say 99% of people will succumb and continue to fall for that rationalization of thinking. Some people will say that's because he's 1 in a million, that he made it through and he accomplished and he growed that tall. But why is he 1 in a million? Because he believed. He didn't think. Because thinking requires logical proof to back it up. Belief and faith requires none of that. He believed that he was good enough to make it to the NBA. And after practice, confidence, and applying it, the world believed it too. His mind made his body believe it too and made him grow.
Determination, you know, what your motives are, what your ambitions were from the beginning. You know, it's been a lot of soul searching in terms of it's easy to sit back and say, well, I've given my best. You know, I'm tired, somebody else got to do it or whatever. I didn't take that approach. I thought positively and said whatever I could do, every little inch of energy that I have, I'm gonna try to provide for this team. I mean, if you give up, then they give up. You know, so I didn't want to give up. You know, no matter how sick I was, or how tired I was, or how, you know, low on energy I was, I felt the obligation, you know, to my team, to the city of Chicago to go out and give that extra effort.
For these things to work, you most importantly have to have a love for what you're doing. Each one of these individuals had a love for the thing they were doing, even when it was not working or it didn't look promising. And that's because love isn't thinking, it's entrusting, knowing, feeling. It's why a mama lion will die protecting her cub the same way your mom would for you. And only one of those creatures, us being the humans, have the ability to critically think and rationalize. It's why a mom can see a car on her baby and through brute strength lift it up. Love. It's the pure love that radiates through us all. It connects us. It requires no thinking. That alone will continue to fuel the fires of our souls and allow us to receive what is needed on our journeys. And that is the true art of not thinking.
Again, like I said, you know, I feel like in certain places there's thought that needs to be had. In other places, I feel like it should definitely be a flow state. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you in a game, right? Say you're a hooper and you're in a game, and you thinking about I remember my coach used to get on me about this. Like, I'm thinking too much about what I'm about to do. You kind of just got to get into the groove and just do your damn thing. You know what I'm saying? But then the thought process of like, okay, how I'm gonna get here and like, I feel like a good way to think about it is like, okay, I want to be here, right? I want to be in this position right here. Here's a slight blueprint on how I'm gonna get there. But as I'm doing it, as I'm learning, you know, as I'm creating, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a whole different mindset. I'm doing my thing. Like, each day I'm doing these things to essentially get me here. But how I get there, it you know what I'm saying? God has a way of being like, okay, we gonna take you here to your destination, but the whole time, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole we got a whole different world for you planned. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think about it. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Like the video, sub, comment, binge, on the channel. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm great for y'all. And we going, man. ADD, let do it.